Okay, let's unpack this. We've got a set of sources here all about professional AV gear from HDTV Supply.
Right.
And our mission for this deep dive is pretty straightforward. We need to figure out the why. Why are these big institutions buying this specific kind of hardware?
Well, it's really about moving from chaos to control.
Chaos or control, I like that.
You know the mess of cables and power strips you get behind a home theater?
Right.
The wall warts everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Now imagine that, but on a huge institutional scale, data centers, universities, it's a nightmare. Centralized power just simplifies everything.
And that brings us to the focus product here, the TPONE 221100502.
Exactly. The 5-volt well-volt rack mount power supply. This is the piece that solves that big problem.
And this is not for everyone. The sources make it really clear who HDTV Supply is targeting.
Absolutely. It's all about institutional clients. We're talking federal, state, and local governments, schools, military accounts.
They even spell out who gets extra discounts.
Right. If your email address ends in .edu, .gov, .mil, or .org, you're on their list. It's a very, very specific sales channel.
So let's look at the specs for this featured product, the 221104502. It's built for density.
It is. It's a 12 RU unit.
So you can fit two of them in a single rack space side by side.
And it powers up to 12 devices, which is pretty impressive for that size.
But the versatility is what's really key, isn't it?
Yes, that's the critical part. It can handle 6 of the higher draw 12-volt units, or you can double that to 12 of the standard 5-volt devices.
And why is that dual voltage so important?
Because in these big institutions, you've got a mix of old gear and new gear. This lets you power both without needing two completely different systems. It's about backward compatibility.
Got it. Okay, so for context, this unit is listed at $450.
Right, $450. And the sources say it includes free shipping in the USA and that it's in stock.
But here's where it gets really interesting for anyone in procurement. The fine print. This product is listed as, and I'm quoting directly, non-cancelable, non-returnable, and non-refundable.
That is a very strict policy.
It is. What does that signal to you?
To me, that says this isn't off-the-shelf mass-market equipment. This is specialized, mission-critical hardware. A policy that firm means they're not kidding around. They expect buyers to know exactly what they need before they click purchase.
That's a huge risk for a buyer, though. So how do they balance that? Is there any kind of safety net?
There is, and it's on the other side of the transaction. The support. They offer lifetime support.
Lifetime?
Yep, via phone, chat, text, and email. For an institution, that long-term support can be way more valuable than a flexible return policy. They even give out a number for suggestions. 833 Wolfpack.
Okay, so that's the main unit. But the sources mention a few other options just to give us a sense of the range.
Right, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. On the lower end, you have the tvONE P2105.
And that one's just for 5 devices, 12 volt only, and it's much cheaper. $150.
And then you can go way up to the on-a-rack 5RU and 6RU systems.
Both priced at $630.
Exactly. And with those, you're not just getting more ports, you're getting a ton more power, 250 watts. That's for racks packed with really high-draw equipment.
So if you connect all these dots, what you see is a very clear strategy. It's about getting rid of that adapter mess, but within this really rigid institutional framework.
So what does that all mean for you if you're the one designing the system?
Well, the value of consolidating is obvious, but you have to be precise.
Right, because the price jumps pretty dramatically from $150 for a basic setup to over $600 for the high wattage unit.
We've got to match the tool to the job, especially when you can't return it.
Which really brings us to a final provocative thought for you to consider. When you're planning a big AV system, how much value do you, or does your organization, place on that lifetime support? You know, the phone, the chat, the email, versus just optimizing for the absolute lowest price on the hardware itself? That's the real question. It's the long-term reliability versus the short-term cost. And that's something to think about before you make your next move.